Hi, a film I picked up on that was showing on the excellent Talking Pictures TV recently was The Looking Glass War. It's one of the earlier adaptations of the books of John le Carré, the great author of spy stories, most famously Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. This came out in 1970. It's written and directed by Frank Pearson, and it stars Christopher Jones as a Polish émigré who's smuggled himself into the UK, who is chosen to go on a mission behind the Iron Curtain into East Germany to gather information about apparent missile movements. Around the first half of the film is to do with his recruitment and training and the build up to the mission itself. And there is a very impressive range of supporting characters, supporting actors rather. We have the head of the office is played by Ralph Richardson. His assistant, who does much of the training, is Anthony Hopkins in one of his first films. Um, and there's even a brief appearance by Timothy West as a spy who gets bumped off at the start. Um, but then he goes off on his mission and is going behind the Iron Curtain into East Germany. Firstly, East Germany looks nothing like that. It was actually filmed in Spain. So we have large tracts of open beach and scrubland of the kind that are, of course, endemic to Central Europe. But the real problem is Christopher Jones. He's a terrible actor. On the strength of this film, he was cast in Ryan's Daughter by David Lean, a sprawling epic of a film in which he had to play a shell-shocked World War One soldier. And Lean saw this film and thought, "Oh, he's a great actor. He has such an expressive voice." And he realised very belatedly that he had in fact been dubbed. The actor dubbing him, I'm not aware of the name, dubbing him with a Polish accent. But the voice is so expressive that it covers up for the fact that he is incredibly dull and uncharismatic to watch. And as he blunders his way through his mission, where it's hard to tell whether or not he's been deliberately poorly trained or is just very bad at his job, the film becomes much less interesting very, very quickly. We're forced to watch a character who is not interesting or engaging in a storyline which we no longer understand, and which is then at the end of the story not even explained properly. We never find out whether or not it's some kind of false flag mission, whether he was set up to fail, whether it was some kind of last hurrah for the elderly spy masters. And the real problem with the film is that every time Anthony Hopkins comes on as the young, tough lieutenant to the senior operator, who is then contrasted with scenes we have of him at his home, where he interacts with his wife. He walks in the middle of a dinner party and then shouts, and we see there's a whole other side to the character. I want to see a film about the Anthony Hopkins character because he's much more layered and interesting, and Hopkins is just fascinating to watch all the time, even when he's doing nothing. Whereas Jones could be doing anything and is boring. And that's the fundamental problem with the film. It was actually promoted at the time as being a showcase for the big new star, Christopher Jones, who, after Lawrence of Arabia, made one more film in 1996, which was very much a kind of Quentin Tarantino type role of being cast based purely on the nostalgia value of his name. So this is, in theory, it should have been good because Le Carré is usually very good value, but the appalling casting and vague writing in the second half, not to mention the bizarre choice of locations, effectively sinks it. So you'd be better off watching the first half of the movie and then just assuming that his character gets shot the second he steps behind the Iron Curtain.